Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Mindfulness. This is Anjali. Let's begin today's session. Please close your eyes and focus at a point. Lift your spine up and watch your breath. Feel the cool air on the tip of your nose as you inhale and the warm air as you exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. On the next inhale, we chant Om. Take a deep breath in. Inhale. Gently open your eyes. Okay, I'll do a quick recap of our last session. Last week, we spoke about the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali and the Ashtanga Yoga. So Maharishi Patanjali, according to him, the goal of yoga is Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Right? Just let me share the screen with you. Okay, yes. So the goal of yoga is Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. That is cessation of fluctuations of the mind. And the path to attain this for us base level student is Ashtanga Yoga. That is the 8 limbs of yoga. What are the 8 limbs? The Yamas, Niyamas, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. Today we will delve into Yamas and Niyamas. What are Yamas and Niyamas? They work as a foundation for character building. So we have certain biological instincts or habits which are stronger than nature. Habits which are developed, through innumerable lifetimes. These cannot be changed overnight, right? Or all at once. So that is why we need constant awareness, constant practice of Yamas and Niyamas, so that slowly and gradually we control these instincts. So what are Yamas? Okay, that's the Ashtanga Yoga, it's telling you. Yamas are self-restraint in order to regulate, control, or biological instincts. They are social or interpersonal practices. So the first Yama is Ahimsa. That is to refrain from or abstain from injuring any being at any time and in any manner. So Ahimsa does not only mean non-violence physically, it's also mental violence. Every time you are thinking negative or in a very cruel manner towards another person or another being, you're committing Hinsa. So Ahimsa is to refrain from doing all that. When you practice Ahimsa, it helps you to control your anger, your jealousies, the greed. All those instincts are controlled when you practice Ahimsa. To practice Ahimsa is more easy on paper than in deed. So you have to actually be very, you can say, unselfish to be able to practice Ahimsa. It should be in your thought, it should be in your action, and it should be in your speech. So in all these 3 means, you should not be hurting or injuring anybody. The next Yama is Satya. What is Satya? Is to be truthful. Now, truthful does not mean only to speak the truth, but basically, your speech and mind should correspond to the fact. So you're saying and thinking of what is being seen, what is being heard, and or inferred. Again, when you practice Satya, you have to keep Ahimsa in mind. So your truth should not be hurting anybody. It should not cause injury or Hinsa towards anybody. So keeping Ahimsa in mind, you practice Satya. Next Yama is Asteya. What is Asteya? It is non-stealing. Basically, you have to abstain from taking or stealing things which belong to others. So, sometimes, of course, we do take things, but if with consent is always better. But when you're taking, say, for example, content, if you're printing some content, at least give credit to that person, right? So, not stealing in every particular way, not just objects, but even their content or anything that belongs to another person. That is Asteya. You're not supposed to steal anything from anybody. Next comes Brahmacharya. Now, Brahmacharya is a tricky one because it is, of course, continence or abstinence from sexual indulgence, but it has a wider scope also. It is about non-indulgence of all your sense organs. Why? Conserve your energy. Why do you need to conserve this energy? So that you can regulate it and channelize it for higher practices. Because that is what yoga is about. Developing yourself for the higher practices to achieve yoga with chitta vritti nirvana, right? To achieve that liberation. So if you conserve your energy, you are able to regulate it or channelize it for your yoga practice. That's Brahmacharya. Next comes Aparigraha. Aparigraha is abstinence from greed or non-covetousness. Now, why we are not supposed to be greedy or covet a lot, or you can say non-hoarding? Because first, when you want to covet, when you want to hoard something, you're constantly craving things. So first, your energy is wasted in craving those things. Then you're bothered about maintaining those things. So your energy is wasted there. And then you're bothered about losing it. So your energy is again wasted in that part. So to own or to have only as much as is necessary for your sustenance. That's why we need to practice Aparigraha so that you're not wasting your energy in unnecessary things. So you have to abstain from being greedy or from hoarding things. So these were the 5 Yamas. Next comes Niyamas. What are Niyamas? Niyamas are personal observances or internal practices. While Yamas are interpersonal practices, that is social practices, Niyamas are observances or the discipline for personal growth. Let's see. Satya. Satya is cleanliness, that is physical and mental cleanliness. Physical cleanliness includes keeping your body clean, yes, and healthy, free of disease. Also, eating the right food that will help your body to be disease-free and clean. Mental cleanliness would include cleaning your mind of all the negative feelings or negative emotions like anger, jealousy, greed. All these negative energies, they drain you. So you maintain that cleanliness so that you are able to concentrate more on your practice. So that's Satya. Then comes Santosh. That's a big one. Contentment or a sense of satisfaction from what we have. That is so difficult, right? I mean, easy on the paper, but so difficult to achieve. We are always craving things. We have one, but we are always looking for more. Today I have iPhone 13, tomorrow I want iPhone 15, and the one which one will be launched, subsequently. So we are always craving for more, never satisfied with what we have. It does not mean that you don't have to be ambitious. being ambitious is one thing, but to be unhappy because you don't have something, that is another. So be ambitious, achieve your goals, but learn to be satisfied with what you have. Don't be unhappy if you don't have a thing. So tomorrow, if I don't have a particular model of phone or I don't have a particular car, I should not be unhappy. I should be content with whatever I have, with whatever I have been able to achieve. That is Santosh. Tapa. Tapa is austerity. So austerities are practices often misunderstood as severe, painful practices. No. Austerity could be something simple like fasting or mode run, not talking. So something very basic can be austerity. Why do we practice austerity? So that the body develops the power to endure hardship and the mind does not get easily upset by the lack of physical comfort. It helps us in our physical or personality growth, you can say. Not physical, just physical, but also our personality growth. So austerities must be practiced. Then comes Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya is the study of scriptures and self-study. So you study the scriptures, but also reflection. Reflection on whatever you are studying, whatever you are practicing, that has to be constantly there. Because unless you have a constant study, you do not grow. Anything you're doing, you may be a professional of any field, you have to keep updating yourself, right? So, study of scriptures is for your spiritual practice. That way, self-study regularly is necessary for your personal growth. The last niyama would be Ishwar Pranidhan. Ishwar Pranidhan is surrender all your actions and their fruits to God. You have done your karmas, you have done your duties. Now you have to surrender everything to God. You don't have to take that I sense. So the big thing here is to surrender your ego to God. That whatever is the will of God is accepted. That is Ishwar. It should not be like accepted because you have no choice. It should be a willful acceptance. That yes, I have faith and I do accept that whatever is there or is happening is the right thing. So that is Ishwar. So why we practice Niyamas? To see if you practice your Niyamas, your personal observances, they help you to practice your Yamas. They are all interconnected. When you practice Santosh, contentment, you will learn not to accumulate too much. You will learn to practice Aparigraha. You will learn to practice Asteya, not stealing. When you learn to practice Tapa, you will learn not to practice, not to practice, you will learn to practice Ahimsa. So not to do any Hinsa. When you learn to practice Ishwar Pranidhan, all the other practices become easy or doable for you. So all are interconnected and very much important for your practice, not just the yogic practice, but to live a balanced and harmonious life. It is, you can say, the foundation which has to be strong, right? So these work as your foundation for character building. Let me just look at some questions. Can the application of Yamas and Niyamas in modern context enhance mental health outcomes? Sham wants to know. Yes, of course. So, when you are practicing Yama, say for example, you're practicing Ahimsa, what are you doing? You're trying to control your anger. We have the natural instincts. We have our biological instincts. You are controlling those instincts. You're controlling your mind. You are controlling the negative tendencies or the evil tendencies. So when you're practicing ahimsa, you're trying to develop love for others, compassion for others. When you're practicing asteya, you're trying to control your greed. When you're practicing shaucha, isn't that character, sorry, not shaucha, although satya, truth, that's character building. So when you practice all this, your mental health has to improve. Okay, let's see. Quite a few questions here. Let me just quickly scroll up. Okay, Siddesh wants to, not Siddesh, sorry. Lavanya says, hello, interesting topic. Hi, Lavanya. She asked, Lavanya wants to know, how can beginners start integrating yamas and niyamas into their daily routine? Okay, that's a good one. In the daily routine, say for example, you are driving or you are in an auto rickshaw and there's a traffic light. Try not to cross the red light. That's one good way of practicing your yamas. Try to be honest if you're missing work. Do not give any lame excuse. Be honest why you cannot go today. So that is a simple way of inculcating these practices in your daily life. I'll give you an example. If I cannot do a session, I tell them honestly, I'm sorry, I cannot do a session because I've not slept enough. I need to sleep. So as honest as you can be about yourself. So those are small ways. Practicing niyamas, how to practice niyamas, cleanliness, physical cleanliness, what you're reading. Don't read junk, read quality, what you're listening to. All those things will help you to practice your niyamas in daily life. Aisha asks, how do the yamas and niyamas contribute to peaceful and harmonious lifestyle? So, like I said, that when you are practicing your yamas, that is the interpersonal practices, you're trying to control the biological instincts or the evil tendencies in you. What happens is, why do we get upset? Why does our mind get so agitated? It is the negative emotions which agitate the mind. Greed, jealousy, anger, delusion. Sometimes we feel depressed. Why are we depressed? Because we are not getting what we desire. Right? So there's no santosh, there's no contentment. Or we are fearful. So all these are negative tendencies. Through yamas and niyamas, you control these negative tendencies and try to remove them from the source. That will help you to get a peaceful and harmonious lifestyle. What's the importance of practicing ahimsa, non-violence in our daily life? Sakshi wants to know. Just imagine you are going somewhere, traveling, and you see road rage. Doesn't that upset you? When you see two people fighting, neighbors fighting, isn't it upsetting? So, of course, ahimsa in daily life, because you don't want all that anger, all the negative feeling all the time. It won't help you. It won't, you won't be able to conduct yourself properly. So you need to have ahimsa. It's not just about not killing anybody. It is smallest thing, not even wanting harm mentally, wanting harm towards anybody. It starts there. It starts in your mind. It starts in your thought. The minute you feel anger towards somebody, aren't you doing hinsa? And hinsa not just towards that person, towards yourself, because it's troubling you. So isn't that hinsa towards you? So practicing ahimsa is not just for the other person, but for yourself also. All the negative and tendencies, all the anger, jealousy, they harm us first and then the others. So for yourself, ahimsa. Okay, Shantanu asks, how do the principles of Yamas and Niyamas intersect with contemporary ethical frameworks of psychology and sociology? So, yoga is pure psychology. If you study the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, you understand that why he was called a master psychologist. You are working at your mind level when you're practicing your yamas and niyamas. You're working with your psyche. You're trying to bring balance in a mind which can be agitated with all the outside forces and with the inner instincts. So when you practice these yamas and niyamas, you work on your psyche. It has to be practiced to be understood. Think about it when you are stealing. Are you comfortable? A child who's in an exam and he copies from another child. Don't you think he'll be uncomfortable throughout all the time watching over his back? Is the teacher coming in? Is the professor coming in? So all these small things, they agitate the mind. So psychologically, when you practice yamas and niyamas, you're in a better space. Sociology, yes, you're interpersonal relations. So there is a thing, when you practice yamas, it's not about you trying to build a better society. You're looking at personal growth. A better society is a byproduct. So when everyone practices these yamas and niyamas, don't you think we will have better society as a byproduct? So sociologically also, you are contributing. It does not mean that you go out preaching to everyone. It just means that you practice for yourself. Okay, Shan is asking, can the application of yamas and niyamas in modern contexts enhance mental outcomes? Yes, I think we did cover this. Yes, it does. Vinod is asking, in what ways can technology be leveraged to facilitate the integration of yamas and niyamas into daily life? Okay. Technology, how can you use it to facilitate the integration of yamas and niyamas? A, when you are using your social media, what are you doing? What content are you looking at? Say, for example, if you're doing your swadhyaya, your self-practice, you can use the technology available. You can use whatever sources you have on that. Do your self-study. You need not have a physical copy, right? Of that book. You have everything on the technology, on the Google or on your social media. What pages you follow? What that again would include your shaucha also. What content are you following? What content are you posting? When you post something, is it true? Are you posting something which will hurt somebody? So when you keep all this in mind, you can use technology to, I'll say, you practice your yamas and niyamas. Okay, I think that's it. There aren't any more questions. But I would like to add here any practice cannot be sudden. You cannot wake up one day and say, I am going to be practicing Ahimsa or Satya all day today. There will be challenges, there will be circumstances which will anger you, irritate you, or make you speak the untruth. But the key thing here is, or the idea here is to be aware. Be aware of what you're doing, what you're speaking, what you're thinking. When with awareness, slowly and gradually, try to inculcate these practices. You can't do them overnight, not possible. If I see a mosquito and I'm worried that it's going to give me malaria or dengue, I am going to end up killing it, right? So I'm committing Ahimsa. So the idea is that slowly, gradually, you train yourself in such a way that you're causing minimum harm to any other being, any other creature, and speaking the truth. So one thing I'll tell you about Asteya, when I started my own page on Facebook, I would post content. And then slowly, gradually, I realized, no, that's not right. I need to start giving credits. Right? So give credit where it is needed. Do not claim ownership to something which is not yours. So these are small ways in which you can start inculcating your yamas. When you are looking at a new dress online or in a store, you want to buy it, but how much are you going to store? How much are you going to hoard? So try to give away some. So this way, try to practice Aparigraha. Come to Niyamas. Practice Niyamas slowly. Try to eat right. Maintain physical hygiene. Maintain mental cleanliness. That's the most difficult. Even if we are in our interpersonal relationships, we are, super, you can say, we are not very clear. We may appear to be calm, but inside we are agitated, we are angry. So try to clean your mind of all the negative feelings. That's mental cleanliness. Come to Santosh. How will you practice Santosh? You try to be content with what you have. Be content with what you're doing. Aspire for, try to do, work for more, but don't get dejected or depressed if you do not get it in it. So learn to be content. That's what Santosh would be. And at the end, of course, Ishwar Pranidham. That's what it is all about. You have to let go of everything. Surrender everything to God and surrender to the higher authority. That is what it is all about. Just a second, I need to stop sharing. Yes. Okay. That is what Yamas and Niyamas are all about. When you practice these slowly and gradually, you will see changes in yourself. You will see that you are better equipped to handle things and you will grow in your practice. So that is it for today. Hope to see you soon with another topic. Thank you. Bye-bye.